Soyez bénis, chers frères et sœurs, c'est le pasteur Joël Kabasele. Je viens annoncer aux bien-aimés des États-Unis une grande nouvelle, précisément à Portland. Les Women of Distinction organisent Knowledge Room. Knowledge Room, c'est un moment avec les jeunes sœurs que l'on passe pour recevoir ce que le Seigneur a réservé pour nous. Ça se passe quand? Ça se passe le 6 décembre. Organisé par Madame Karine Lukusa, des moments de bénédiction, je précise, à Portland, Maine. Nous aurons des moments de grâce et de visitation à partir de 18h. 18h, nous serons visités, la grâce abondante sera sur nous. Alors, la thématique, nous parlons des relations toxiques. Toxic relationship. Alors là, il faudrait vraiment y être. Jeune sœur, je t'invite, madame, pourquoi pas, je t'invite, parce que les relations toxiques, il faudrait les comprendre et les discerner. Et donc, nous avons un dress code. Nous serons tous ou toutes, parce que les hommes sont exclus, nous serons toutes en pyjama. Et pour l'achat de votre pyjama, voilà, le numéro est en train de défiler tout en bas. Vous pourrez appeler et des très merveilleuses personnes pourront vous répondre. Soyez abondamment bénis. Rendez-vous avec le Saint-Esprit, le pasteur Joël Kabasele, le 6 décembre, Portland, Maine, invité par Madame Karine Lukusa. Soyez bénis, le ciel est favorable.
It's that time of the year again. Knowledge Room, 3rd edition. You're probably wondering, what is Knowledge Room? Knowledge Room is a safe space for women only, in which we speak on topics that we consider or we think is a taboo. Here, there is no taboo. In Knowledge Room, we have women that come with their experiences and explain to us and how we could overcome them. Each and every woman is important in Knowledge Room because we all have wisdom. Knowledge Room, empowering women to live purposeful lives.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Knowledge Room Testimony Corner. This year, we are doing things differently. And for our first episode on today's show, we have a very special guest. She is a regular of Knowledge Room, but she is also one special person to me. And I will introduce you, or rather, I'll let her introduce herself to you. So, welcome.
Thank you so much, Sister Tando. Thank you for having me here as your guest. To everybody who may not know me, my name is Bright Lukusa. I am a frequent flyer of the Knowledge Room. I make it a point to be every year. I was at the 1st edition. I was there last year, and I'm going to be there this year. And I just love what people are able to take out of the Knowledge Room.
Absolutely. I am so excited that you're here
Thank
for many reasons. And one of them is, how special you are to me. And, looking forward to this day was very exciting, to be able to talk to you about your journey, to be able to talk to you about your testimony, essentially. So let's delve right into it. Can you tell us about yourself? Who is Bright? Give us a little bit of your background.
Thank you. That's a very loaded question. And I never know how to answer that when people ask me that question. But I would say I am first and foremost daughter of the Lord. I am a firm believer that I'm God's favorite child. I always tell people this, because the way that my life has panned out, it is only by God's grace, where I am today, what I'm able to do in all aspects of my life. It is only by God's grace and glory, right?
Amen.
And so I'm a daughter of the Lord, but other than that, I'm a student, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a fiance, soon to be future wife.
And my favorite girl.
Yes. Sister Tando is my big sis. She's very dear and near to my heart. But ultimately, I would also say I'm a servant. I believe that my purpose on this earth is to serve and help people. And so that's how I try to live my daily life, to just be in servitude and give back to my community and to those around me.
That's beautiful. I love that. So in your introduction, you let us know that you are a regular of Knowledge Room and that you will be here this year. So we'll talk a little bit, more slightly later about this year's Knowledge Room. But can you tell me what has been your experience in the previous Knowledge Rooms that you have attended?
Absolutely. December is always a busy time for people in numerous avenues of their lives, right? And that has always been the case for me as well. And the past 2 years, I was busy around the times of the Knowledge Room, but I was like, I have to be there. And God in my heart put it for me to be there, right? And so I just felt like this was something that I had to attend. And so I attended the first Knowledge Room, and it was really interesting to just be amongst like a room of women, like in fellowship, and just talking candidly and opening up, being honest about the struggles of like love, life, and how to adapt and adjust to the different forces that pull us and impact us in our daily lives, right? But I felt that like in that space, we were just all able to come together and hear from like the older women and even like the younger women about their experiences and what they've gone through. And you'll see, sitting there, I was like, wow, I'm not alone in this, right? Like there are people who've been through some of the things that I've experienced, and look at them now, they're better off. And so that means they came out better in the end, right? They came out through it. And so it was just really humbling and comforting for me to sit there and experience that and learn and hear. So I would say like in that first Knowledge Room, I was maybe a spectator. I'll say it and I'll explain to you what I mean by that. But like I was a spectator. I came, I listened, I learned, and I was like, I took something out of that. Right. Okay. Now, fast forward to the second edition, I was like, I'm not going to be a spectator anymore.
Hello.
And oftentimes when we attend like church services, the moderator will always be like, don't be a spectator. You didn't come here to be a spectator and sit in the audience. Like whatever you came to seek and whatever you came to look for in this place, make sure that you get it by the end. Don't leave this place the same way that you came in. And like that was me entering Knowledge Room second edition. I was like,
love that.
I'm coming here for a specific purpose, and I know that God is going to do something for me, right? So last year was a very tumultuous year for me. Like there was a lot that was going on, but like towards the end of it, when Knowledge Room happened, I was in a space where I was like, God, I feel that this is what you have set in my heart for me.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm in a place where I'm ready to receive something that I believe you've placed in front of me, but I need you to ordain it, right? I need you to make it so that I am in a place and in a position where I can fully receive it in the way that it's meant to be received. And so when Knowledge Room came around, I was like, I think that's a place that I need to do it at,
okay.
Right? So I attended Knowledge Room, and in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm attending this. I'm going to listen to what is being preached, and whatever comes of it, I'm going to take that. I'm going to plant my seed, my offering, and then the Lord is going to do the rest.
You came prepared.
I did come
right.
I did not come to play.
No, you did not.
No, I didn't.
And as you are talking, I'm like, I have burning questions. I'm like, okay, I need to remember to ask her this. But the most burning question is, what were you looking for, Bright? And did you find it?
That's a very good question. I want to say, yes, I found it. I think.
Oh my God, God is good.
God is so good.
God is truly good.
So good.
Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. I think what I was looking for was just peace. And I'll explain what I mean by that. I think human beings, just the nature that we are at, we want to be in peace in all aspects of our lives. And in searching for that peace, sometimes we go searching for it in the wrong places, right? And maybe even in the wrong people, right? So when we talk about relationships and like peace in terms of relationships, I was looking for a companion that would allow me to pursue peace in ongoing in my life, right? And it was a struggle. It was ups and downs, but I was like, God, you know my heart. You know where I stand. You know how I've been preparing or what I've been doing to be ready, right? And so here I am, literally at your feet. I'm like, do your will, right? But here I am, and here in my heart, this is what I'm offering, and this is what you know of me, right? So do the rest. So coming into the Knowledge Room, I was like, okay, God, there's somebody in my life who I believe is the person that's meant to be for me. But I don't want to rush into anything. I don't want to be the one who says, I'm in front of this, I'm making the decisions, I'm doing
You're
this.
taking the lead.
Yes, I'm taking the lead. No, because I did that before and it didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to do this again, Lord. I don't want to make the same mistakes. I don't want to fail again, right?
Yeah.
So please take the lead and be in control so that if it does work out, I know it's not me and I know specifically that it is you.
Absolutely. I love that so much. You've said so many important things, Bright. As Joelle said it in the beginning of the show, Knowledge Room is a safe space. Knowledge Room is also, a space where women that have gone through experiences that we may be going through right now, can impart that knowledge. They can teach us how to attack certain situations, or the do's and don'ts. Yes. But you spoke, you came with an offering. You came prepared. And that is the whole point of Knowledge Room, is not only are we just talking, but, it's a time of deliverance. It's a time where we are learning and unlearning things, getting that, wisdom from people that have gone through, those stages. Now, having had that experience, and just in general looking at, our elders do things in terms of relationships, how our elders, handle relationships. What is it that you would say you would want to do differently? And of course, if I may do the honors, that we have wedding bells that we're hearing already. So very soon, Bright Lukusa will be Mrs. Very excited for that time. But what would you say you want to do differently in your relationship that you have seen, our elders, go through, or even in Knowledge Room, things that people have shared?
Absolutely. That's a really great question. And in order for me to really answer that well, I have to be a little honest and vulnerable. And the reason that I say this is because I think growing up, like people around me, like my mother, my siblings or whatever, would always tell me that I wasn't the best communicator. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yes, very interesting. And when I was younger, I didn't understand what they were trying to tell me. But when I found the Lord and I started pursuing the Lord and seeking Him, I think He brought that understanding upon me, where it was like, you need to learn how to communicate better, communicate your emotions, your feelings, communicate with those around you. People can't read your mind, right? And so if there's something going on, if you feel something, you have to try to express that vocally and listen as much as you want to express it, right? So maybe I want to say a few years ago, maybe however many years ago, I said, Lord, I want to learn how to communicate. I want to be a better communicator. I want to be able to express myself better so that it's constructive and not detrimental.
Right.
So read books, but also just praying about it and asking God to allow me to be the best communicator that I can be. And I think I'm really understanding the importance of that being in the relationship that I'm in today, because it's, as you said, I didn't necessarily get to have a view of that growing up, seeing people in relationships being able to communicate well and express, because a lot of times people are like, try to hide things, right? Hide conflict, hide problems within the family. And
unfortunately, that's the culture that we grew up into. Don't tell people about.
Exactly. Yeah. And I get that. It's a lot of people usually do that to protect themselves. Yeah. But I think I'm finally in a place where, for me, keeping secrets or not communicating is not about protecting myself. I'm actually hindering myself or damaging myself by not talking or by not expressing or by being scared. I'm not protecting myself. So talking is me protecting myself and building myself
and protecting the one you love.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because not communicating festers things, right? People fester resentment, they fester whatever it is, right? But when you're in a place where you feel safe and you feel comfortable that you can communicate with somebody, and nobody's ever perfect at this. Like communication, I don't think anybody has the master key to communication. So please don't get me wrong.
It's a continuous learning.
Yes, it's a continuous learning thing. You have to be open to it. You have to be willing. You have to be intentional.
Right.
And you won't always get it right. You won't, but it's your ability to just be able to sit down with somebody and be like, hey, let's talk about this. Let's express to each other. And we may not agree. You may not see why what you said or did hurt my feelings or vice versa, but let's at least talk about it and see if we can get to a middle ground. Right. And so I would say that's probably just something that I would say I'm asking and praying and just reading and learning about how to be the best communicator that I can be, so that I can serve like everybody, not just my husband, but like serve everybody around me in the best way that I can.
Wonderful. I have so many things that I would want us to talk about, but because we are running out of time. So Mama Joelle Kabasele is coming all the way from Congo, and as we know, Mama Joelle Kabasele, she is a guru when it comes to relationships. So I'm pretty excited to be learning from her, and I'm sure you are too. She will come and tell us what a toxic relationship looks like. But in your own view, what would you say is a toxic relationship?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say, from what I know now, a toxic relationship is anything that's outside of the Lord. Like,
Ooh.
And I know.
Come on now.
And
Don't get us preaching. I'm listening.
And I know we hear this a lot, and oftentimes people will hear it and be like, maybe this person is lying, or maybe they're just saying it to say it. And it's not that. It's really not that. And I will explain why. Anytime that we do anything outside of the Lord, whether it's romantic, platonic, whether it's work, career, whatever it is, it doesn't align.
Right.
So why would it be any different with love? Right? And so, like I said a little before, when we say, I'm going to be in control, I'm going to go looking, I'm going to go seeking, I'm going to do this, we often end up and find ourselves in places and situations and relationships we shouldn't be in. Right? And I myself found myself in those types of situations until I said, no, this is not okay. I was so hurt. I was so vulnerable. I was like, God, like, I'm here. Like, you know my heart. Look at all the situations that I'm in, but I don't understand where I'm going wrong. And it's like, God was like, it's because you're putting yourself first. It's because you think you know better. It's because, you're making these choices and these decisions based on yourself, based on your emotions, based on what you think is best. And that's not best.
And that's limited knowledge in that sense. Yeah.
Such limited knowledge. As human beings, from the dawn of time, we always, that seed was planted in us that we want to know as much as God, but we will never know as much as God knows.
He's all-knowing.
He's all-knowing, right? And because He is all-knowing, we will never be in a position where we can make decisions for ourselves that will be better than the decisions that the Lord makes for us. It will never occur, right? And once you accept that, in terms of all things in your life, in terms of love, in terms of career, in terms of whatever, you will live a peaceful life. You will live a life of contentment, because nothing is within your control.
You are imparting so much wisdom right now. I'm like, who is this girl?
It's because I learned it the hard way, but I'm so glad that I learned that, because now I'm able to be in a place where I'm like, God, take over, take control, do what needs to be done, because I don't know anything, but I'm willing to put myself in a position where Lord, mold me, transform me, adapt me to what I need to be to serve accordingly, right? And to be who I need to be when and in the appropriate time, in the appropriate location, in all aspects of my life. And I would say that's ultimately what I can tell everybody. Just find a way to have that relationship with God where it gets to the point where you're like, God, I give it all up to you. I surrender. We sing the song all the time in church, I surrender, but singing it and actually doing it are two different things.
That's very true.
It will never always be surrendering, right? Because there are ups and downs in life. But as long as you're always pursuing that, you're always talking and seeking to God, like, God, how can I surrender to you? God, how can I just lay myself down at your feet and like let you take over? Any decisions that you're looking to take in your life, go back to God and ask, God, is this the right thing for me to do? God, what do you think? God every day. God morning, God evening, God in the middle of the day, God at school, God at work, God everywhere.
In everything. Yes. I'm really encouraged and so blessed, by this conversation. Brighton, you may be at home thinking to yourself, is Knowledge Room really for me? Knowledge Room is a platform that was really created for such things, enabling women and empowering women to grow, to come out of their shell, to be confident in who they are, with God. So you're touching on really important pieces. But then again, you are a regular of Knowledge Room.
Absolutely. So and I'm bringing guests this time.
Listen, Bright, can you, just on that note, for someone that's still asking themselves that question, do I really want to attend Knowledge Room? Is this really beneficial? What will I be taking away? Can you encourage someone out there at home to join us for this Knowledge Room?
Absolutely. What I can just say is please come. If registration is a barrier for you, find my number somewhere, contact me, and I will register you myself. Okay. That's how passionate I am about the Knowledge Room, and I want people to attend. Like, women, please come, because I promise you, if your intention is for you to gain something, you will gain something. If your intention is for you to get something out of the Knowledge Room, you will get something, as minute or as large as it can be. Our testimonies are different, but you will gain something. So absolutely, please come. Let us partake together. Let us fellowship together, because in these times, in this society, in this world, everybody's busy. We get it, right? But if you can take just a few hours on a Friday night, take the off, call out of work if you need to, but please come, because honestly, I've attended the past 2 Knowledge Rooms and I can say I'm the better for it. And I want all of us to partake in that and experience that, because I really believe in uplifting everybody. It's not that if I'm getting something good, I'm not going to tell my neighbor. I'm going to tell my neighbor so that we can all partake in that, right? So please come and let us fellowship together, and ultimately let us just rise and be a body of women in Portland, Maine, in Southern Maine, in all of Maine that is influential and that can help other women as well.
I love that. So you heard it from Bright. You didn't hear it from me, because then I would be biased. But even Bright is endorsing, please make sure you register and you attend this edition of Knowledge Room. It is fully packed. We're very comfortable. We're in pajamas. We're in our vulnerable, spaces, but vulnerable together, because we have women around us that we can rely on, women that we can, put a cry to, really, and be our shoulder to cry on. So please do join us for this year's edition of Knowledge Room. I am so blessed by you today, Bright. As I said to you earlier, offline, I've been seeing such a, don't let me use the word demure. But I have been seeing such, this light, this, very gentle side of you, but full of wisdom. And I really pray to God, that you continue on this beautiful journey that He has placed you on. And knowing your partner, I'm just so excited, about what is to come.
Absolutely. Praise the Lord.
Yes, praise the Lord indeed. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You will send our regards to your other half.
Yes.
And we look forward to that special day. This is Knowledge Room. Take care until we see you next time. Bye-bye.
Are you in a toxic relationship? Do you want to leave a toxic relationship? How do you prevent yourself from being in a toxic relationship? Knowledge Room 3rd edition presents to you with the theme Toxic Relationship, which is hosted by Mama Karen Lukusa and with the beautiful guest, Mama Joel Kabasele. Do not forget that it's only $50 to register. And in the $50, you can get a drink, get something to eat, and a beautiful champagne color pajama. It will be happening on the 6th of December at 312 Kanker Road, Portland, Maine. What are you waiting for? Register with the number on screen.